at that exact moment, right, when they announce you as the winner, right? Can you mind sharing like a bit of like the thoughts that went through, the feelings?
Yeah.
I can imagine that there will be probably 1 second of like lag, me.
Overwhelmed with emotion. It may not appear so, but I'm actually a very big softie, so actually I started crying immediately. And then my wife and my brother-in-law were there. Then the confetti blew, and I was just like, I couldn't believe it. And actually, my wife haven't forgiven me for this, but the first thing I did was really hug Tina and Mandy.
What's up?
And welcome to another episode of the KopiBros show presented by the Chit Chatter Podcast Network. Now, for this episode, I think we have a very special guest because I think this is the first time we are actually meeting with someone who can both cook and actually run a restaurant. I think that isn't always the case. We actually interviewed Inderpal Singh, winner of the MasterChef Singapore Season 4. So I just want to ask Brandon first, what is one of your like takeaways or what are your favorite parts of the interview?
You can really feel the passion he has for like food, care and love for the friends. Yeah, correct.
He's able to describe food and then like your mouth start watering Like
yes.
Yeah, sometimes like you see shows, then people describe it like, oh, okay, it's like I'll try it when I'm free. But when he described, I can feel my getting hungry. You
really do feel hungry because the thing is he conceptualized like the food that he's talking about, like the amount of effort. You can really see like the amount of effort that goes behind cooking.
It's a very mouth-watering interview, and that he gave a lot of very, very interesting insights because he participated in MasterChef. He shared some things about the whole shooting and the whole show that I think is very, very interesting that we can all listen to. So without further ado, let's get into the episode. And welcome to another episode of the KopiBros show presented by the Chit Chatter Podcast Network. Today, we have with us Inderpal Singh. He's a very, very special guest because I think this is the first guest I hear. I think I see the food before I see the person, or I know the person first. Yeah, so he's a culinary innovator who's redefining Singapore's food scene. He transforms every dish into an unforgettable experience from home cook to champion. His journey is fueled by passion, grit, and creativity, bringing bold flavors and fresh twists to the Punjabi cuisine. He's won heart on national television and beyond. Get ready for a mouth-watering conversation with the winner of MasterChef Season 4. Okay, we will talk later about why is it not Season 1. Mr. Inderpal Singh.
Jin Yong, your introduction really showed that you're a very good stalker, man. You can really check everything out before.
Food stalker.
That's okay.
So Inderpal, thank you so much for taking your time out to talk to us. We are doing this on a Saturday morning because obviously if you are in the F&B, all the nights and the weekends are the busiest periods. Since you opened your new restaurant, Meh'r, I think, am I pronouncing it right?
Yes, you are. Well done. 10 points.
Yes, thank you. Okay, so since you have opened Meh'r, how many months has it been and how is business so far?
It's been good. We've been very blessed. The people have really opened their hearts up to us and we've been doing okay. The F&B industry is going through a bit of a slow spell, but we've been blessed and we're very thankful for everybody who has come down.
We will touch a bit about the specifics of the cuisine, the feel and your direction in terms of like the modern twist on the Punjabi cuisine later in the interview. I'll just like to ask you first, is this your first restaurant?
Yes, so Meh'r is my first restaurant, hopefully not my last, but yes, it's been the first one. We've been very, very privileged to have the opportunity to present our food to the rest of Singapore.
I think I heard it right that in your 8 days interview, you said that you actually went to a 9-year-old, I think, house to do some cooking and then his father became your investor.
Yes, that's right. So yes, I was invited to do a private dining at someone's home because their son was a super fan of the MasterChef competition and saw me during episode 6. When I replied to the email, I was like, but it's only episode 8 now and I'm not even the winner, nothing. And I no, it's okay. He just want to eat the soy. Then I was like, okay. The person who invited me over really enjoyed the food, had me over again quite a few times. And then, they invested in the space and they told me that this food needs to be available to Singapore. And here we are.
We normally start our podcast, interviews by learning about the origins of our guests. And we would like to take it all the way back to the very beginning for your love of food. Inderpal, do you mind sharing with us, what was the earliest memory of you falling in love with food?
Right. Okay. Wow. So this one is something that that I hold very dear. It's a memory for me that I can still very close my eyes. I'm transported back to the absolute moment. So when I was about 5 or 6 years old, my dad was a community leader in a Sikh temple, and he's very so much one of those people is like you lead by example kind of people. He used to take us down to the temple at 5, 6 a.m. in the morning to make roti, which is chapatis, right? So if you've been to a Sikh temple, you will never be turned away for food. There will always be something that is provided to you, a full vegetarian meal. In preparation for that, there's a lot of prep that goes into it, making the chapatis, making the dal, making the curries, making the vegetables and whatnot. So as a 5, 6-year-old, nobody's gonna let me near the giant hot plate where they make all of the chapati, So I used to stand around and watch this big burly man stirring massive pots of dal, like 40, 45 kilo pots of dal, 40, 45 kilo pots of sabji or vegetables, and then they will add one powder and the color will change. Then they will add another powder, the smell will change. As a 5-year-old, I'm just watching all of this happen, and it just looks like magic to me, right? It's just like, this is a magical experience. And that is what I took on and I brought home with me, and since then I was hooked and I was addicted to finding out how you can do that. And then as I learned more and more, I just realized, one small ingredient can change the complexity or the layering or add more flavor to a dish. And that's something that I still hold true today.
But it would have been both a magical experience, but at the same time, you see the amount of hard work that goes behind
exactly.
cooking, right? Yeah. Which
you remember when you were 4 or 5, Brendan, you had so much energy. You're like, can I?
Yeah. You really can. Yeah. You're younger, you found your passion. That's why it's so impressive that you stuck true to that, staying true to that passion, even though when it gets get tougher and tougher.
You're not wrong, but I had a break in between. I was an accountant for a while, accounting assistant for a while. I forgot about food for a while, but then I came back to it. But yeah, it's been good. It's been good.
Funny that you mentioned the accountant, because that's the next thing that we're going to ask, right? Found out that you also did, you were previously an accountant, and I could connect with that because previously I was also an accountant. I can safely say that no one will find an accountant that says this is a very passion-filled job.
Hey, why? Numbers are also tasty. No, I'm kidding. It's one of those necessary jobs that we have, and it's not something like you said like nobody's gonna wait up like, wow, I woke up today, I'm so excited to go and
balance some books. Yeah.
But yeah, I think with food, it's very tangible. Like you can see how people react when they put that first mouthful in their mouth and they just enjoy the experience. So I think the tangibility is what does it for me to constantly keep trying and keep evolving and keep trying. And then when I come out with a dish where I try not to reveal too much to the people when they try it, and then they have that oh wow moment. Yeah, that for me is incredible.
Wow. It's such a big jump, from being an accountant to after that going back into your love of food. Was that jump difficult, or I can imagine, especially in Singapore.
Depends on the definition of jump. Am I jumping out or am I jumping down? It is a big shift. It's 100% a different ball game. I have been overwhelmed in a positive and negative way. It has inspired me, but also has taken a toll on me in different parts. But would I do it all again? Yeah, 100% in a heartbeat. Like I would do it 100% all again. Would I do it different? Maybe a little bit. You learn as you go, right? And I think that is part of being human. And also, I think it's a very big part of being Singaporean. Like we learn much quicker than a few other industries and a few other countries because the size of the country is so small. If you make one error, everybody knows about the error. Because it's so small. But if you make one success, everybody also knows about the success, right? In that sense, the pressure is good. It keeps you grounded. It keeps you going and pushing for more. The jump, it wasn't an easy jump. Convincing people of making the jump is easier than convincing yourself that this is what you're supposed to do every day. I think that part is not so simple. Sometimes I wake up and I'm like, actually, why do I do this? Just be an accountant, go and eat in nice restaurants and come back home. But the thing that continues to drive me is the team. The team really is very inspired to make the restaurant the best that it can possibly be. So my investors are amazing. They back me up whenever I need backing. And my family, I cannot thank my family enough, from my daughter, who the restaurant is named after, and my wife, who has stood by me through every difficult decision to get to where we are today. It was a bit difficult, because when I named the restaurant after my daughter, my wife is like, hey, you know her 2 years, she got a restaurant. You know me 9 years, where's my restaurant? Okay, coming, akan datang.
The next restaurant has to be special, that.
Yeah,
More special than this one.
That's why we stop at 1. Because you got another child, you make another restaurant.
Keep coming up.
Prior to joining MasterChef, I think our producer did a bit of research. You were running a home-based business and you were doing a lot of pop-ups or like go to events kind of thing lah. Do you mind sharing with us, right? What's your experience doing this kind of pop-up businesses and like what made you suddenly decide, I want to try MasterChef?
Actually, so I always wanted to go on MasterChef. It's been a dream of mine since I first saw MasterChef Australia. So from there, I've been very inspired by it. And I know, okay lah, as a non-Aussie citizen, I'll never be able to apply for MasterChef Australia. So then when I saw MasterChef Singapore in 2018 was the first one, I remember. I actually applied and I got in. But then I was just newly married. So my wife said, I think wait first, let's settle down our married life, everything, and then we can talk about it in the future at some point. So with the home-based business, it started actually much later than that. It started during COVID, like end of 2019, early 2020. I started selling butter chicken and chapati. And then it blew up to become very popular because I think after a while, people wanted different food. And at one point in time, there was over 40 items on my menu. So it was crazy.
Wow.
Yeah,
That's crazy.
I couldn't tahan really. I couldn't take it. So I had to streamline the menu, like, okay, this week only got this, or next week only got that, Yeah, I did see some customer drop, but then I realized that customer also come back during the week that has the product that they want. So it's not so bad. It's just about adjusting, what I can possibly give, what people want. Yes, exactly. Because it's not sustainable. 8 kilo butter chicken, 2 kilo dal, and then 500 gram of like aloo gobi. Then, wow, very sad.
At the start of the interview, you spoke a bit about like Punjabi food and like you say that it's actually a lot of vegetable based, right? So I also wanted to check with you that I think in one of our previous interviews you mentioned that you wanted to try to popularize Punjabi food lah.
Yeah, I do.
Efforts lah. Yeah. So where did that idea come from? Like, is it because you want to share your heritage or like what you grew up eating?
Oh, I'm gonna get so much flack for this, but I don't really like Punjabi food myself.
Oh, okay.
And there's nothing wrong with it. Like, I go, like sometimes I go back to Amritsar in Punjab. I enjoy my time there. It's not that I don't, and then like all my friends go, wow, so nice. You must try the kulcha. After a while, I'm just like, wow, very bready. The cuisine very bready. Where's the rice? I think that's the Singaporean in me. I need to eat rice.
The rice.
For me, about the popularization of Punjabi food is also to maybe present Punjabi food in a different way. I think ancestrally, we are all farmers. So we do a lot of heavy farm work, right? So I think the carbohydrate being very crucial part of the entire meal is very important. We evolve, I would say evolve, not get lazier and start doing less farm work and more, office-based stuff. Our lives become more sedentary. So maybe the need for a carbohydrate with every meal sort of dwindles. But then I also know that everybody consumes carbohydrates because who doesn't like rice, who doesn't like bread? It makes you feel full, right? But eventually there will be a project that I will take out at some time. I don't know when, but I definitely want to do homage to the Punjabi cuisine in a modern interpretation and a more palatable interpretation. Because there are some things that are actually very delicious, just presented in a very rustic way. So I think maybe not so palatable to the eyes of the general public, but maybe at some point that could be something that I do. Maybe, who knows?
Now we want to dive more into Fame Story, right? Where you were the winner of the MasterChef Singapore season 4. Just thought you went into a bit where you explained that season 1 you wanted to go in, but then you were married. Just nice on season 4, right after COVID, you went on. Especially at the point of time, there will probably be a surge of amount of people applying because everybody is
correct.
home-based cooking. MasterChef Australia was the one that you watched, and then after you realized actually MasterChef was quite a good show to promote, right?
Okay, for me, it was just about whether or not I can stand shoulder to shoulder with someone in MasterChef Australia. I don't know if I can now. I mean, I look at the contestants now also, it's like crazy. Look, the standard is crazy in MasterChef Australia and they always doing crazier things every season, like more and more and more. I think this year, MasterChef Singapore, the one that I was on, sort of scratched the surface a bit, like with the pressure test, with Janice Wong and all of that. I think that is very in line with how MasterChef Australia does it. Like, it's really a big curveball, and I think the shocks came a few, but they came very much so realistically during season 4. But yeah, I think MasterChef Australia was always a show that brought immense joy to me. Like watching them, come up with something and all that. It just showed the creativity, and a lot of it inspired me to to want to apply, which is why I did eventually apply for season 4.
Moment when you go on the cooking set, right? Is it really as on TV? It really looks very good, like the cooking set. I don't know whether the background music when you're presenting a dish, it feels very intense. But yeah, is it the same?
Let me check my NDA when it expired, then I see what I can reveal to you.
Okay. Wow.
Okay, I put it this way lah. To shoot one episode, it takes 2 days. Like that 1 hour that you see, it takes over 2 days. And sometimes it's from a simple thing like that day the microphone is just not microphoning, like it's just not capturing things. Sometimes it's just one of those things. It's not something that has happened often. But it's simple. Sometimes it's a simple thing as like when we're shooting outdoor, there is a bird, and then every time like we try to say something, the bird starts speaking. So then the audio is capturing the bird. So then we have to wait for the bird to get lost, then before we can start shooting again. To maintain the integrity of the show is once they start the timer, the timer is started. There's nothing that interrupts it. So even if anything else, they will voice over with either a later voiceover from us or, like you said, the dramatic music and all of that. As contestants, when we watch the show, sometimes we feel like, wow, this episode really tuned. They really captured the emotions of the episode. Some episodes are like, that's all. But we all cry so much. We all laugh so much. Then that's it. But end of the day, I also get it. Like the episode can be 2-3 episodes long. But I also know that they need to condense it into one episode. So that part we understand. Like clip of me ugly crying circulating on the internet. I really regret doing that now. Not regret my decision, but regret ugly crying. Like crazy, man.
Unlike you, I haven't watched MasterChef Australia. I've actually watched MasterChef UK. And I watched it because I think the 3rd season, the winner was I think 80 or 90% blind chef. Her name is Christine Ha.
Yes, correct.
Yeah, I think in a lot of this kind of MasterChef, right, always there is a specialty food or a food that you're comfortable cooking with, right? Like Asians, we are used to certain kind of cooking. So how do you balance like, I should go back to my roots or what I'm familiar with? And how do you balance like, I should get out of my comfort zone and try something different this time around?
Actually, you don't think so difficult. You don't think until so high one. When they give you the challenge, you got 3 minutes to come up with a dish and then you go already. So it's like they tell you, okay guys, this is the challenge, this is the ingredient. Then they tell you got 1 hour. No way lah, you got 45 minutes lah. You need like 10 minutes to plate, 10 minutes to make sure everything is good, everything is ready. Then you really need to plan your time. It's crazy. So it's not so much about, today maybe I take a risk. So, okay, today maybe I did nothing like that, man. It's what comes into your head, you go ahead and you cook. And sometimes what comes into your head at that point in time, the dish is evolving. Like it continues to change as you go through that 40-45 minutes. Like as you're cooking, like, actually I can add this element, or actually I can add that element. Or sometimes you create a dish at the start, you're like, well, okay, I'm going to create a dish with 9 elements. Then you look at the clock, left 10 minutes, okay, my 6 elements jadi lah.
This one, I think it doesn't get shown enough because a lot of times we watch the show, right? Sometimes they will really show the contestant and saying like, I prepared this, but because this thing didn't turn out well, I took it out. Then we thought that it's like normal. We didn't realize that the 45 minutes or the 40 minutes can go through so many processors, so many decisions, this kind of thing. Yeah.
You got so many voices in your head at that point in time. No lah, can lah, don't worry lah, got time. And then the other one's like, no time lah, you crazy or what? It's like, there's no time. So you're fighting yourself. And I think that's the, yes, I think the competition itself, you compete, yes, with your fellow contestants. You compete with what the judges, everybody is human and everybody has a preconceived notion as to what a dish should be. When I made the bak soy, I refused to call it chicken rice because if I call it chicken rice, everybody going to compare it to buntong ki lah. Everybody going to call it to compare it. They say, no, this is not chicken rice. This is bak soy. Then after that they eat, then they're like, bro, chicken rice lah. Then I'm like, no. Because if I say it's chicken rice, you will say, but this is not the best version of chicken rice I had. But you see, because I gave it a funny name, then people are like, wow, it's very good interpretation. Okay lah, good. Sometimes you must learn how to manipulate the situation.
Understand. It's all about the framing and the presentation also.
100%.
Okay, then Inderpal, since we are on this topic, what is 1 or 2 dish or a few instances that you think that I really went out of my comfort zone with this, and how did it turn? Did it turn out well or did it turn out?
Okay, so one dish that is something that I'm not used to cooking at all. In fact, I never cooked it before being on MasterChef was Chef Malcolm's challenge when he asked us to recreate his fish maw soup that he does at Candle Nut, right? That is something that I've never done before. Like I have eaten fish maw, I've never cooked with fish maw before. But his one was very technical, very layered. There's a money bag filled with if I'm not wrong, I think it was chicken. Then there is a prawn and Savoy cabbage roll up. There's the egg with the lines and the circles, and then of course there is the whole stock itself that you need to boil and boil and boil. That was a recreation challenge, and it's something completely out of my comfort zone. I don't quite I didn't at that point in time I didn't quite understand Chinese cuisine as much or heritage Nonya cuisine as much, depending on your interpretation of fish maw soup. After that, I learned more and more about it, and I understand a lot more now, to the point that we are experimenting with a fish maw dish right now at the restaurant also, but don't know whether jadi or not lah.
How about the dessert that you had to recreate for the finals? The one that one of the judges danced with you one.
100% out of my comfort zone, and it's two layers lah. The first layer is itself. I'm not a dessert person. It's not something that I enjoy eating personally, and it's not something I enjoy cooking, because I feel like with savory dishes, you can feel things. You can feel like, okay, maybe this is not right. This is not right. You can adjust. With pastry, it's a science, because sugar is sugar. Flour is flour, water is water. There is no, if you add a bit too much, it will turn into something else. You have too little, it will not turn out the way you want. It's a pastry, it's a science to the T, and I have very high respect for pastry chefs, because what they do is repetition and discipline to no end. The true mark of a pastry chef is, I ate this on Monday, it's the same. I ate on Friday, it's the same. I ate 1 month later, it's the same. I eat 1 year later, it's the same. That is the mark of a true pastry chef. If you go today a bit sweet, next week you go very salty, this fella which is, you know what I'm trying to say. So Jenny Fong's creation, props to Chef Janice. People say she's not a chef anymore lah. She's an artist, and very, very rightly so lah. So to recreate that, it was not easy. It's something. Would I do it again? Maybe if I had 7 hours, maybe yes. But 1 hour 30 minutes, maybe no.
One very special request.
Very, very special. With a very special price tag.
On the show, right, for the three judges on your season, right, the Audra Morris, Damien De Silva, and John Shen, they are all highly accomplished and respected chefs, and they praise your dishes, especially when they call them incredible. That recognition actually boosts your confidence, not just in the competition, but what a milestone.
100%. But I think look, they are very, very talented people and accomplished, like you said, right? Like Audra is right now on MasterChef Australia All Stars, and she's killing it now. Like she's really, really doing like leaps and bounds, like so many interesting things. Chef Damien is the hardest one to impress, but yeah. He's running Rempapa. Previously, he was running Kin. He very rightly so the papa of Rempa lah. Like nobody can dispute that. Beyond is a crazy wacky guy who can come up with crazy ideas, and someone I like to lean on to try to do R&D for dishes and all of that. I ask his opinion sometimes. I think getting the recognition from that, yes, 100% it boosts my confidence. It gives me the confidence to go out there and try something. But I think what the show gives you more than anything is the friendships that are formed, and with the judges themselves. So like I can unparalleled now, like I can pick up the phone and call Chef Damien, hey chef, I had an idea about this, what do you think? Wow. And the way you look in the pile this is the situation right now. You really want to be going into this right now, or do you want to think about maybe doing something like that right now? Like that bag of experience and truckload of advice that he has, and he's actually very fatherly in real life. Like he's not that stone cold killer that you see on TV. Like. And even before I opened Meh'r, I sat down and spoke with Bjorn. He was very kind. He sat down with me. He went through the numbers. He's like, I want you to know what you're getting yourself into. This is the reality. This is the percentage you're going to make. And then I was like, no, cannot be so low. He's like, no, it's going to be this. I can write and give you. Is this. I will bet my... We don't say which part of the body he said. But he's that person, and he just wants you to do well. And he's always talking up the contestants from the season and everything. And it's such a joy to be around such an infectious energy that is Beyond Trend, which is why all of them really did inspire my journey for sure. And I have... I have nothing but thanks for all of them. Like I said, the important thing is they're still friends. So I can pick up the phone and message them and Yeah, okay, busy lah. Maybe they reply one day later, but they will reply.
Other than the judges, right? Actually, your competitors as well, your friendship and bonds. Yeah, do you all still keep in touch?
So we have a group chat. It's been a bit silent recently, but I think everybody's just a bit busy. But we did chat a while ago, and the group is amazing. I think it's one of the best groups that has been put together. No offense to any of the other seasons. I'm sure everybody has their own relationships with anyone individually, and I'm very glad for that. But like Jonathan is such an amazing friend. Like he's always checking in on me. Hey, buddy, how you going? You know, are you okay? You know, like Ruben and me have been called upon to do a lot of collaborations together. We recently just did one for Father's Day, like a Father's Day cook along for fathers and children. So he did the one day, I did the other day. Divya and Louise have come down to the restaurant. Louise is a big supporter. She's an amazing friend. Her husband just did a book out at the restaurant as well. So it's very much like we really take care of each other. Mandy, got me a great deal on a Thermomix for the restaurant. Tina is doing amazing things as well. Like, the whole group is just very much like, I want you to do well. Like, let's go forward. Let's see how we can help each other. To the best of our ability, we help and we go. Even though sometimes what we are doing is in direct competition with each other, but we talk each other up all the time. Say, hey man, you want the best nasi padang? You go to Ubi, you find Tina's shop. That's where you go. You want the best Peranakan? You order from Jonathan from his home-based business. You know what I'm trying to say? You want a very cool cafe experience? You go to Ruben's home business. It's that's how we do it.
That's should be the biggest takeaway. All these connections and all these relationships. Yeah,
1,000,000,000%.
But of course, one of the incredible achievement, right, was winning MasterChef as well, right? Yeah. At that exact moment, right, when they announce you as the winner, right? Can you mind sharing a bit of the thoughts that went through, the feelings?
Yeah.
I can imagine there'll be probably 1 second of lag, me.
1 second, you're being kind. I think my brain processed for very long. I think I was just overwhelmed with emotion. It may not appear so, but I'm actually a very big softie. So actually, I started crying immediately. And then my wife and my brother-in-law were there. Then the confetti blew, and I was just like, I couldn't believe it. And actually, my wife haven't forgiven me for this, but the first thing I did was really hug Tina and Mandy. Not because man, you lost, but it's just like I really know these girls put their life on the line for this competition, and I just at the same time, while I'm happy and the euphoria is unreal, I also felt for them like, oh man, you guys, they were so close for everyone. Right? Being such amazing people that they were just celebrating me. They're like, no, you did well, go and celebrate, it's your moment, and just like that. And then I turned to my wife and then I hugged her.
From that point on, we of course know that you went on to work for a Michelin-starred restaurant, and I believe winning MasterChef motivated you to seize the opportunity to, after that, the Michelin restaurant instead of going back. Or what was the thought process instead of going back to your home business?
I mean, it's about being opportunistic, and I think when I started meeting the guest chefs, I did speak to them about possibly having a stint at your restaurant to learn more, and everybody is very welcoming. But I think the thing that is tough in any industry, in any part of the world, not specifically to Singapore, is about making the connection. Hey, I would like to do this. And 95% of the time people say, yeah, sure, come on down. Or yeah, sure, give me your number. And whether that comes to anything, that is secondary, right? But the reality of it is you made the connection and you tried to do it. Chef Emmanuel Shubon, who was on episode 9, he said, if any of you want to have a go at a 2 Michelin restaurant, let me know. And of course, I really scared, no cannot you know what I mean? But I met Chef Dave through one of the producers of the show, and she connected us. And Chef Dave said, hey buddy, yeah, sure, come on down, have a trial if you like it. So it's going to be the hardest thing you've done, and it truly was. Like, I think Bernan's is a well-oiled machine that maybe I saw hindered the process at some point. I'm completely new lah. But I was super green, but I learned a lot during my time at Bernan's. All of the chefs that I met there were very, very, very kind, very motivating, and very much. Look, pressure is pressure, service is service, and nobody messes around during that point in time. But every time you want to have a chat with someone is available, and I think that's very important. It's something that I try to bring into Meh'r now. Whenever any of the staff is having any issues, I say, hey buddy, let's talk about it. Let's go through this together so that everybody can be happy.
What I'm interested in is, of course, the food has to be great, right? But a restaurant is so much more than just the food. right? It's about the menu, it's about the ambience, it's about like how you decide to set up this kind of thing, what is included, what is not. So maybe can you take us through the process of like how you come to conceptualize the restaurant, how you decided to lay out it, how you design it, all this kind of thing?
The design work was very much a kid in toy store on Christmas Eve. I want this, I want that, I want this, I want that. And then the ID is just scratching his head like, okay, I try. And then, like, we go through the first render, second render, third render, and then finally, like, it started making sense again. And I wanted it to be very warm, very welcoming, very homely, very Balinese, Asian, which is what the food they are trying to serve, you see. So it needs to tell a story. The space needs to tell a story along with the food. It is homely, but it is contemporary. There is a atasness to it, so-called, and I think that's how we design the space. The space must complement the food must complement the service, so on and so forth. It needs to be a holistic experience, which we try to deliver to our utmost best.
How long did it actually take you to plan the menu?
So the menu itself was actually planned about 2 to 3 months before the restaurant opened. And I'll explain why. So I won MasterChef. I was invited by STB to go and do a tour of India to showcase Singaporean food. So I went to 5 cities, I did a tour, and I did a very, very Singaporean menu, and a Singaporean menu that most people in India don't get to try. So of course, we got chicken rice, chili crab, but I also did like carrot cake, stuff like that is maybe a bit off the beaten track for someone who Googles must eat food in Singapore. Chicken rice, chili crab, that's what's going to appear. Tata Kueh is like maybe number 35, 36 on that list. It was a very beautiful challenge in the sense that because like I mentioned, a lot of India is vegetarian. So to do our food vegetarian is not so simple. Like chili crab, you need the umami. Okay you cut a bit of belacan, put inside, settle, but no, cannot. Because it's vegetarian, right? So it's about learning how to pull umami out of different flavors. So all of that was a very fun process. And then I came back, I did some private dinings in Singapore. I started realizing that a niche is starting to appear about my cooking technique, which is modern interpretations of street food, right? And it sounds like a mouthful, but modern street food is something that I started doing well. So then I got invited again, but this time not by STB, but directly by a company in India to come and do a 2-city tour in Bombay and in Bangalore. So I went, but this time I did my full street food menu from Bali to Delhi. That's it, that's the menu, That's the menu we launched with.
Oh wow! Okay, wow. Yeah. So you will see that there will probably be a lot of like we said the version 25 version. Was it tough for each dish, or which dish will you feel like was like the most versions?
Okay, so we do a ceviche in Meh'r now. It's a tom kha ceviche, and it started off as a hot dish. It started like a pan-hill color with tom kha, reduction, like just to give you that seafoodiness and the tom yum flavor and everything. But it evolved to the point of now becoming a ceviche with a reduction, like a gel, almost. Sorry, not a gel, like a cream of tom kha with all that. So that started as a hot version, then it became a different thing. And then eventually now, like version 25, 26, now is, I would say, close to perfect. Is it's a cold dish, you see. So that's the thing.
I couldn't tell from the photo the scallop ceviche, right? No wonder I was like thinking, oh wow, this one really looks so interesting. But from the older photos, right, it looks like slightly different because there was the older photo. There's one with like a lot of sauce below,
yeah, correct. So that one was the like it's a looser sauce. So now it's like a thick, almost like a custard cream that you eat it with. So it's like really you're having a full cool dish lah.
Before you came on, right, in the Pao, me and Brandon were looking at your menu, and then he was reading off the dishes. I think one dish that caught my eye was the chicken wing with the Hainanese rice inside. So I'd like to ask you, if let's say any customers like first time go to your store, go to a restaurant, right? Would you recommend they must try one?
Okay, so obviously, if you want to have the full Meh'r experience, try the tasting menu. For that, you will get everything that is on the menu that you need to try. Some things that are R&D, still in process of being perfected, but you get to try dishes that other people don't. So that is the best experience that you can get so far. We start you off with a nice caviar dish, followed by a bak wing. You have a prawn toast, which is very new, but very, very, very popular now. You have a tote that we do, which is very popular as well. So you really get like the hits, the favorites. Of course, you end off with the lamb biryani lah. You end off with the lamb biryani as your main course.
That's
And
I saw the
that is
level.
Yeah, that's something that people like come back to the restaurant for, just to eat the biryani. So the scallop ceviche is also part of it. And then now, because it's durian season and because of our view, which is on Marina Bay Sands, we have done this dish dessert called MSWBS, which is the Mao Sha Wang Bay Sands.
Oh, wow.
So it's
MSWBS. Yeah.
MSWBS. So it's like 3 towers of crispy toast with a durian cream on the inside, with Mao Sha Wang cream, and then we have a Mao Sha Wang ice cream with a chocolate soil from fresh raspberry. So and then when we plate it looks like Marina Bay Sands.
Yeah. Wow. But it sounds
Wow.
amazing. You have so much in place right now, but your plans for the future, for especially in expansion, or what are the things that we can look forward to?
Well, in the short term, we are reaching the National Day period now. As we do this podcast, is the 14th of June today. There's going to be fireworks happening out at the rooftop because of where we are in proximity to the Padang, because of the rehearsals, right? So from basically next Saturday onwards, all the way till the 9th of August, we have a satay buffet. So you just pay $58, free flow satay. You can sit, watch the fireworks at the rooftop bar. And the fireworks are going boom, boom, boom. You can just take however many satay you want, non-stop. Thanks to our partners from Asahi and Singapore Distillery. $8 beers and $8 gin and tonic whole night. You just keep ordering how many you want. You just $8. So it's quite a crazy deal, if you ask me.
Yeah, it's crazy. And some of for the fact that your view can see there's that fireworks display.
And let me know if you guys want to come down. Just show you guys the view.
Whoa.
Literally there. Can you see the black scaffolding? Yeah, that's where the Padang is lah. So that's where the fireworks going to be pop. Asahi tap is also ready.
Wow.
Oh.
To think about like spending my Saturdays chowing down satays together with a beer.
In the long term, we are looking at possibly, but this is maybe 1 or 2 years down the road. Like Meh'r is quite a bespoke brand, and maybe it's not readily available to everyone. But we will try our best to be as inclusive as possible. We might try to do something that is available more to the masses, but that is still very much premature and in the pipeline. And who knows, we might go overseas to try something as well, to bring the local flavors of Singapore over.
Inderpal, I think we have learned a lot from you today. And of course, I know you're very busy, but to close our episode off, maybe you'd like to let our audience know where they can find you. Where is Meh'r?
So we are located at 42 South Bridge Road, but it's a bit of part of coming here is the adventure itself. You need to enter from the back entrance. So you need to enter in from Carpenter Street. There's a small slip road at the back, and you enter from there. You will see a big yellow door, and you can just walk on into the 5th floor. So you walk into the 5th floor. Once the lift doors open, you are literally in Meh'r already. You don't need to.
I see.
And we have a bar up at the rooftop where you can come and have a beer first, or come and have a drink before you start your dinner. Or you can have dessert up here after you are done with dinner. Instagram account is Meh'r by Inderpal. My personal Instagram account, though I haven't been posting much, sorry, I've been busy, is Mr. Singh Eats. Because Mr. Singh loves to eat.
Thank you so much for your time. We will definitely head down to Meh'r for a meal. I know I will definitely go on. I'll find one day that is maybe Thursday or Friday night and go alone.
Yeah,
I think I should try it
the
myself
satay
first.
buffet.
Yeah.
Wow,
Yes,
100%
yes.
there for
Yes, exactly. Come on down and let's satay together, man.
So thank you so much for your time, Inderpal.
Thank you.